Hello, my name is Juan Sebastian Silva. I am a student in America University. I am at sixth level English. Next, I'm going to present you about a human exodus. The arrival of COVID-19 has a positive story change for the world and for the countries of Latin America and Caribbean. In addition to the high risk, the pandemic will reduce the income of many and put millions of people out of work. The pre-existing inequalities in many countries of the region and economic level, houses, and access to health increase the risk of exposure of migrants to the virus. At the International American Development Bank, the arrival of the virus is of particular concern to us science. In this context, the vulnerabilities suffered by forced migrants are dramatical and severe. The virus does not choose its victims, but our societies do produce all patterns of discrimination against others, either because they are of another race or process another region. Epidemics don't usually raise hatred and prejudice. Rather, they tend to intensify them. The other factor is inequality. The current crisis has highlighted the future that the French economist Thomas Piketty calls the violence of inequality. Lacking social protection, the most disadvantaged people are struggling to survive in the midst of this global pandemic. In many countries, the incidence of the virus has been higher in cities. Overcrowded, unsanitary housing can contribute to the spread of disease. The poor quality of health infrastructure means that those in these conditions have little chance of surviving, especially in the poorest countries. Coronavirus hit global societies, but when the population groups most affected by the devastating consequences of the pathogen were migrants, refugees, and asylum seekers, the most vulnerable population in society. During the exodus and with the closures, many of these migrants were trapped in unsafe places during the restrictions. According to the International Organizations for Migrations, about 17% of people planning to emigrate from Central American countries and Mexico canceled their plans due to coronavirus, and 20% of those who were in the middle of the migratory route considered returning to their countries of origin. Many changes await us, starting with a comprehensive reform of our health systems. The countries, federal, states, and provinces that have achieved the best results in this crisis are those that had previously invested in establishing better quality public health systems. The second change is to remedy to entrenched inequalities in our society because in any unequal society, even the best systems are doomed to fail. It's obvious that this is a long-term project that cannot be executed overnight, but whether the national economy is strong or failing. When systematic inequality prevails in a country, crisis will devastate the weakest and most vulnerable groups. Exodovirus has imposed a slowdown on us, but once we have overcome the crisis, will we see the emergence of a new world order? Will we become aware of the precarious existence of millions of human beings? When the noise of human activity has resumed, will hear the voice of the human and the most vulnerable population groups? There are no easy answers to those questions, but the time has come to raise them. It is time to understand that the disappearance of the blue sky is not any luxury destined. Epidemics, when they occur, always alter people's social life, generating fear and, in some cases, collective panic, given the great mortality they cause. The COVID-19 pandemic is no exception. There are millions of families that have already been touched by the contagion or death of one of their members throughout the world. The novelty of this pandemic, however, is that it occurs in a world that, beyond low-intensity conflicts, have not gone through the experience of a great war or a great pandemic which generates a great mortality, globally or regionally.